An emotional first day of testimony in the trial of Jamal Smith, the Chicago man accused of shooting and killing a youth baseball coach on Highway 169 last summer in Plymouth. The suspect, 34-year-old Jamal Smith, is charged with first and second-degree murder. Smith is accused of shooting and killing Jay Boughton of Crystal while they drove on southbound Highway 169. Boughton was with his teenage son as they were returning home from a baseball game in Coon Rapids. CCX News reporter Sarah Tamer brings us the latest from the courtroom.
Dressed in yellow, friends and family gathered in and around the courtroom Monday in support of Jay Boughton. Boughton's wife and son took the stand today to recall the kind of man he was. Boughton's 16-year-old son Harrison was with him in the car when he was shot and killed. Prosecutors described the incident as a case of road rage, saying Smith aimed at Boughton while driving and changed the family's life forever.
The family will not have much to say until it's all over, but we're here today wearing yellow. Support. It represents courage, strength, and staying in the light. That's what we're all going to do.
Smith's attorneys say the evidence does not support the allegations. In an emotional testimony, Boughton's son describes the moments that led up to the shooting. We then heard the 911 call he made last summer. Boughton's wife, Kristen, shared with the jury that her husband, Jay, would have turned 58 years old today. In Minneapolis, Sarah Tamer, CCX News.
A Brooklyn Center man faces 2 felony charges for his role in allegedly firing more than 130 gunshot rounds outside an apartment complex on the 4th of July. 35-year-old Minneapolis Brown is charged with endangering safety and reckless discharge of a dangerous weapon. A search warrant of Brown's apartment recovered 4 firearms and dozens of rounds of ammunition. Brooklyn Center police were called to the Somerset Place apartments last week, where police discovered evidence of more than 130 rounds fired. Police say Brown told them he was, quote, firing rounds with his family on July 4th. Several Northwest metro cities are considering regulating THC products. The move comes after a new law went into effect July 1st, allowing hemp-derived THC edibles and other items to be sold. Adults ages 21 and older can consume edibles and beverages that contain small quantities of THC, which is the main active ingredient in marijuana. While state law now regulates the amount of THC that can be sold in each product, it's unclear where and how these products can be sold. So that leaves room for the cities to decide.
What we understand does not specifically prohibit cities from regulating the sale. And what we're looking to do is either through city zoning or licensing authority, look at all considerations, anything from way of numbers to by way of proximity. All things are going to be considered.
Robbinsdale plans to talk about the issue on Tuesday during a city council work session. Golden Valley and Crystal also plan to discuss the issue at upcoming city council meetings. Meanwhile, the Minnesota State Patrol says that in the wake of THC edibles being legalized in Minnesota, state troopers are being trained on how to spot impaired drivers. But whether the substance is hemp-derived, THC, or alcohol, the message to drivers remains the same.
Whether it's legal or not, driving impaired is a horrible idea that puts people at risk. And so our message will probably continue to be really simple. Don't drive impaired. And I'm more concerned with people adhering to that message than talking about what they're impaired by or what they can use legally or not legally. When you get behind the wheel, you should never be impaired regardless of the substance.
If you're convicted of drug driving, the penalty for your first offense is up to 90 days in jail or a $1,000 fine. The Fair School in Crystal is part of a partnership that aims to get more black men into the teaching profession. CCX News reporter Jason Malello connected with the Brooklyn Park man who's taking part in the program.
Do we know what segregation is? That means when they were keeping black people and white people separate.
Xavier Manley loves finding new ways to reach his students.
You learn the kids and then you learn the things that they like and then you try to build the lesson.
Manley earned a fellowship through Black Men Teach, a nonprofit that's working to increase the number of black men who teach elementary school. This summer, Manley is working with kids at Fair Crystal.
We noticed how enthusiastic he was and how passionate he was about becoming a teacher, and he has done a fantastic job with our scholars this summer.
Manley is a recent high school graduate and uses his personal experiences in the classroom.
Sophomore year, I hated school so much that I wanted to drop out.
He knows it's hard for some kids of color to connect with teachers who don't look like them, and that can limit their aspirations.
They either see us as athletes, rappers, or dead.
It's a narrative Manley hopes to help change.
Because a black person taught me about engineering, I could be an engineer. Because they taught me about math, I could be a mathematician.
Manley will attend Tennessee State University in his hometown of Nashville and pursue a degree in education, and says ultimately he wants to own or operate a rec center. In Crystal, Jason Malillo, CCX News.
According to Stanford University, less than 2% of teachers in the U.S. are black men. And finally, an opportunity for people of all talents and physical abilities to enjoy the game of baseball. Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute partnered with the city of Brooklyn Park and the Minnesota Twins to put together a unique opportunity for kids and teens. The three entities teamed up to bring smiles to youth with physical and cognitive disabilities. It was also an exciting opportunity for the Minnesota Twins organization.
It was fun for them to challenge the way that they do drills, the way they set things up. Making sure that the stations are accessible and making sure that the opportunities and activities we're working on are accessible options and have variations so we can incorporate people who are standing, sitting, walking, rolling, anything in between.
Volunteers with Mortensen Construction also help with the event.
The Hopkins Legion team has been playing some good baseball this summer. A week ago, the Flyers finished second in the Delano 4th of July tournament. Then over the weekend, they won 5 games in pool play at the big Gopher Classic tournament. That moved Hopkins into the tournament's next round of play. The Flyers facing Hickman, Nebraska in the Gopher Classic round of 16 Monday morning. Top of the first inning, the Flyers' Paul Safransky grounds to short. Hickman gets the out at second base but can't turn the double play. Charlie Schaefer scores, and it's 1-0 Hopkins. Hopkins starting pitcher Aaron Awney works out of a 2-on jam in the bottom of the first with this strikeout to end the inning in what would be a low-scoring game. Flyers relief pitcher Olin Lisney makes a nice play coming off the mound, and this foul pop-up makes the catch near his dugout. That's the third out as Hickman leaves the bases loaded in the fourth. Meanwhile, Hickman pitcher Eden Holt keeps his team in the game, getting the strikeout to end the Hopkins fifth. He allows just the first inning run. The Flyers were within an out of winning the game when Hickman's Carson Baker drives a ball to the gap in right center field. Pitch runner Barrett Stone scores all the way from first base on Baker's double, and the game is tied 1-1. Next batter is Brady Butler, and he loops a ball into left field that drops for a hit. Baker comes in to score as Hickman, Nebraska walks off Hopkins 2-1 to advance to the tournament quarterfinals, and Hopkins is eliminated from the Gopher Classic. Minnesota Aurora FC is gearing up for the playoffs. 3 local women are on the roster of the semi-pro soccer team, and Jason Malillo caught up with them for this report.
Aurora FC is having a great summer. The women's soccer team won the Heartland Division and will host a playoff game on July 13th.
We have a lot of different players coming from different backgrounds. We have some college players, some players out of college, some who had just graduated high school. So I think we all came from different places, and it took a couple weeks for us to learn how to play together, but I'd say after the first 2 or 3 weeks, we really started to find a rhythm.
Aurora forward Morgan Turner was a standout player at Wayzata High School and then at DePaul University. Midfielder Abby Brantner is also a former Trojan and currently a student athlete at the University of St. Thomas. She's relishing the opportunity to play with a fellow Wayzata alum.
I didn't get to play with her in high school. I knew her name, knew her face, and I played with her younger sister, Maya. Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like right when I saw her on the roster, I was like, oh my gosh, Wayzata grad, like that's awesome.
Ariana Del Moro is from Brooklyn Park. She played soccer at Totino Grace High School and then at the U of M and is now a grad student at St. Cloud State.
This experience has been amazing, and just the people in it, the coaches, the community, like it's very hard to explain, but it's just an excitement. Like it's a feeling that I haven't had growing up playing soccer. It's just I'm always excited to come out.
All these women are helping to build something. This is the inaugural season for Aurora and the USLW, a pre-professional league similar to junior hockey or collegiate baseball summer leagues. For Brantner, it's a chance to play high-level soccer and still retain her college eligibility.
You're playing with players that kind of grew up in a different style and a different sort of mindset, and you're learning new things, and then being able to take that to college and like moving on for summers to come is so cool.
Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Aurora FC plays its home games at TCO Performance Center in Eagan. Speaking of soccer, the week-long USA Cup soccer tournament gets underway Tuesday morning with games. Teams from across Minnesota, 24 states, and several countries will be playing in various age groups, both boys and girls. Opening ceremonies are Tuesday night, with the Cup wrapping up Saturday with championship games. That's all for sports. More news after this.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.